Imagine waking up every single day knowing that your decisions could change the future of humanity. Not next year, not next month, but today. Think about that for a second. Most of us open our eyes in the morning and already feel the weight of excuses. I'm too tired. I don't feel motivated. Maybe tomorrow I'll start. But Elon Musk doesn't wake up like that. He doesn't wait for motivation. He doesn't beg for inspiration. He takes action no matter what. And that's the difference between living an ordinary life and creating an extraordinary legacy. So the real question is, how do you force yourself to take action every single day, even when you don't feel like it? The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. If Elon relied only on being in the mood, Tesla would have never built electric cars, SpaceX would have never launched rockets, and the world would have never believed in reusable space travel. What Musk does differently is this. He has built systems that force him to act, no matter how he feels. He structures his life so action becomes unavoidable. That's what we need to learn if we want to take control of our lives. The first step is clarity. Elon Musk doesn't start his day asking what he should do. He already knows. His calendar is divided into 5-minute slots. Every task is scheduled. There is no room for guesswork, no space for procrastination to sneak in. When you know exactly what must be done, you remove half the excuses. So ask yourself, what if tomorrow you woke up with a schedule so tight that your brain couldn't even think about scrolling aimlessly on your phone? What if you had already written down the 3 most important things you must do, and your only job was to execute them? That's how you force yourself into action. But clarity alone is not enough. You must build pressure. Musk often speaks about deadlines, about compressing years of work into months. Why? Because urgency creates action. Human beings move faster when they feel the clock ticking. Think of a student who wastes weeks avoiding an assignment but somehow finishes it the night before the deadline. That pressure forces results. Musk creates that intensity on purpose. He sets impossible deadlines not because he expects perfection, but because he knows pressure removes hesitation. If you want to force yourself into action daily, you must create urgency where none exists. Don't say, I'll do it this year. Say, I'll do it this week. Don't say, I'll try tomorrow. Say, I'll finish in the next 2 hours. Shrink the timeline, and you'll shrink your excuses. Now, here's something most people get wrong. They think action is about energy. They believe they must feel powerful and unstoppable before they can move. But Musk proves the opposite. Action doesn't come after energy. Energy comes after action. The moment you start, momentum builds. Imagine pushing a car stuck in the mud. At first, it feels impossible. The wheels won't move. Your muscles scream. But once the car starts rolling, it gets easier. That's what daily action feels like. The first 5 minutes may feel like torture, but once you begin, your brain adapts, your body catches up, and suddenly, you're in flow. The hardest part is starting. That's why Musk doesn't waste time debating with himself. He acts before his mind can complain. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Success doesn't care about your feelings. Elon Musk has worked 80 to 100 hours a week for decades. Do you think he felt motivated every day? Of course not. But he showed up. When engineers told him something was impossible, he didn't wait until inspiration hit. He forced himself to act, to learn, to solve, and that's why he's where he is today. If you want to force yourself into action daily, you must stop worshiping motivation and start worshiping discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. That's how progress is made. So here's a strategy you can steal straight from Musk's playbook. Break big goals into small, non-negotiable tasks. SpaceX wasn't built overnight. It was built by solving thousands of micro problems. One launch, one design, one test at a time. If your dream is overwhelming, you'll never start. But if you reduce it to something so small you can't say no, action becomes automatic. Don't say, I'll write a book. Say, I'll write 1 paragraph today. Don't say, I'll get fit. Say, I'll do 10 push-ups right now. Small tasks create momentum. Momentum creates consistency. Consistency builds greatness. And let me leave you with this thought. The future doesn't belong to the smartest or the most talented. It belongs to those who act again and again, regardless of how they feel. Elon Musk is living proof. He didn't build PayPal, Tesla, or SpaceX because he had more hours in a day than you do. He built them because he forced himself to use every hour with intention. Imagine where you'd be a year from now if you took action every single day, even on the days you didn't want to. That's the gap between average and extraordinary. And it's a gap you can close starting today. Picture this. You're sitting at your desk, staring at your to-do list. You know exactly what needs to be done, yet your brain keeps finding ways to delay it. Suddenly, you remember something Elon Musk once said. If something is important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure. That single mindset can flip the way you approach your day. Because most people avoid action not because they don't know what to do, but because they're afraid of what might happen if they fail. Musk flips the script. He doesn't fear failure. He fears standing still. That is why he takes relentless action every single day. And that's the mindset you need to build if you want to force yourself into unstoppable daily execution. One of the most powerful secrets Elon Musk uses is what psychologists call first principles thinking. Instead of asking, what have other people done before? He asks, what's the truth at the most fundamental level and how can I build from there? Why is this so important for daily action? Because when you break a problem down into its smallest truths, it suddenly becomes solvable. Most people procrastinate because their challenges feel massive and overwhelming. But Musk breaks them down until they are clear and approachable. For example, when people said electric cars were impossible because batteries were too expensive, he didn't just accept it. He broke the problem into first principles. What are batteries made of? How much do the raw materials cost? Could we manufacture them cheaper? By doing this, he transformed an impossible barrier into a solvable puzzle. You can use this same technique in your own life. When you're frozen by the size of a task, break it down into fundamental steps. Make the problem smaller, and you'll make action inevitable. But let's face it, knowing the steps still doesn't guarantee you'll take them. That's where accountability comes in. Elon Musk surrounds himself with brilliant teams that depend on his decisions. That external accountability forces him to move forward. About it. If dozens of engineers are waiting on your input, you can't afford to stay in bed scrolling social media. Their progress depends on your progress. Musk builds an environment where inaction simply isn't an option. You can do the same on a smaller scale. Share your goals with people who will hold you accountable. Build systems where your reputation or relationships depend on you taking action. When others expect results, you'll find it much harder to hide behind excuses. Now, here's something most people don't want to hear. Elon Musk deliberately makes his life uncomfortable. While the average person is searching for comfort, Musk chases discomfort because he knows growth lives there. When he was building Tesla, he poured almost all his fortune into the company and borrowed money just to pay rent. That level of commitment forced him into daily action because failure wasn't just embarrassing, it meant losing everything. When your back is against the wall, you stop waiting for motivation. You move, you adapt, you survive. If you want to force yourself into consistent action, you must be willing to step into discomfort. Sign up for challenges that scare you. Invest time and resources that force you to follow through. Put yourself in situations where comfort is no longer an option. But there's another weapon Musk uses that most people overlook: ruthless prioritization. Every single day, he asks one key question. What's the most important thing I can be doing right now that will move us forward? Not the easiest thing, not the most fun thing, the most important. Then he does that first. If you only complete one task a day, but it's the single most important task, your life will transform faster than you think. The problem is, most people waste hours doing small, comfortable tasks that make them feel busy but don't actually move the needle. Musk doesn't play that game. He identifies the 20% of tasks that create 80% of results, and he attacks those relentlessly. If you want to live like him, you need to stop asking, "What can I do today?" and start asking, "What must I do today to get closer to my future?" Here's the harsh reality. Excuses will always be louder than discipline. Your mind will whisper, "I'll do it tomorrow. I deserve a break. I don't feel ready." But Musk doesn't wait until he feels ready, he acts, then figures it out along the way. He launches rockets knowing they might explode, because every failure brings him closer to success. He builds cars knowing production might stumble, because every stumble is a step forward. Imagine if you treated your own life like that. Imagine if failure wasn't something to fear, but a tool to learn faster. How much more action would you take daily if failure didn't scare you anymore? Let me leave you with this. The difference between people who dream and people who achieve is not intelligence, not resources, not luck. It's the ability to act, relentlessly, every single day, no matter what. Elon Musk doesn't have a secret superpower. He has the willingness to take imperfect action over and over again. If you want to build the life you've been imagining, you must learn to move before you feel ready, to step forward when fear tells you to wait, to do the work even when no one is watching. The clock is ticking, the future is being written, and the only question that matters is this: will you act, or will you watch someone else act in your place? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing in front of a rocket, knowing that the world is waiting for you to launch it into space. Billions of dollars on the line, millions of people watching, and the possibility of total failure staring you in the face. Most of us would freeze under that kind of pressure. But Elon Musk doesn't freeze, he acts. Again and again, he has proven that daily action in the face of pressure is what separates dreamers from doers. And here's the truth: you don't need to build rockets to live this way. You just need to learn how to turn fear, pressure, and even doubt into fuel for daily action. One of the most overlooked traits in Musk's journey is resilience. Think about it. After 3 failed SpaceX rocket launches, almost everyone told him to give up. His critics laughed, the media mocked him, and even some of his closest people doubted his vision. He had one final launch left before running out of money. Do you know what he did? He doubled down. He worked even harder. He refused to stop. That 4th rocket succeeded, and SpaceX became the company we know today. Imagine if he had quit after the 2nd or 3rd failure. Imagine if he had let the pressure paralyze him. There would be no reusable rockets, no private missions to space. This is what daily action under pressure looks like. Moving forward, no matter how loud the doubts become. So, how do you apply this in your own life? Start by redefining your relationship with failure. Most people think failure is the end. Musk thinks failure is data. Every failed launch gave him information. Every mistake in Tesla's production lines gave him a solution to fix. Failure wasn't a stop sign. It was a roadmap. If you want to take action daily, you need to see failure as feedback. The moment you stop fearing failure, action becomes natural. You stop hesitating. You stop waiting. You move forward because you know even the worst-case scenario will teach you something valuable. Another secret Musk uses is brutal honesty with himself and his teams. He doesn't sugarcoat problems, and he doesn't hide from the truth. If something is broken, he admits it immediately and then works on fixing it. That honesty forces action. Too many people waste time pretending things aren't as bad as they are. They hide from reality, and in doing so, they delay action. Musk doesn't allow that. He confronts problems directly because he knows that facing reality head-on is the fastest way to progress. You can do the same. Stop lying to yourself about why you're not taking action. Stop saying, "I don't have time," when the truth is you're wasting time. Stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow," when the truth is you're afraid. Brutal honesty is painful, but it forces you to act. Now, let's talk about energy. How does Musk keep going when most people would collapse? He treats his energy like a resource, not a mystery. He knows where his focus should go. He cuts out distractions. He doesn't attend endless meetings. He doesn't waste hours on things that don't move his mission forward. Every ounce of his energy is directed toward progress. That's why he can work 16-hour days and still stay effective. If you want to force yourself into daily action, you need to guard your energy. Stop giving it away to meaningless distractions. Protect your focus. Ask yourself daily, is this task moving me forward, or is it stealing my energy? If it's the latter, cut it. Here's another key. Musk embraces intensity. Most people want balance. Musk wants impact. While the average person is splitting attention between entertainment, comfort, and minor goals, Musk goes all in on his vision. He creates so much intensity in his work that action becomes inevitable. You can do this too by choosing one thing that matters most and pouring your energy into it. Stop trying to chase 10 different goals at once. Choose the one that could change your life and attack it daily with relentless intensity. When your focus is that sharp, procrastination doesn't stand a chance. But maybe the most powerful lesson is this: Musk acts even when the outcome is uncertain. When he invested in Tesla, the company was on the brink of collapse. When he built SpaceX, the odds of success were almost zero. Yet, he acted. Why? Because he understands that waiting for certainty is the biggest trap of all. If you wait until you're sure before taking action, you'll wait forever. Progress lives in uncertainty. The willingness to step into the unknown every single day is what builds unstoppable momentum. So let me ask you this. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect confidence? It's never coming. If Elon Musk had waited for certainty, Tesla would not exist. SpaceX would not exist. Starlink would not exist. And the truth is, if you keep waiting, your future will not exist either. The only way forward is to act in uncertainty, to trust that you'll figure it out along the way, and to build confidence through doing, not waiting. At the end of the day, forcing yourself into daily action isn't about superhuman willpower. It's about building habits that leave you no choice but to move forward. It's about redefining failure, guarding your energy, confronting the truth, and embracing uncertainty. That's how Elon Musk lives, and that's how you can transform your own life. Remember this, the clock is always ticking, and every day you hesitate is a day you never get back. The people who change the world are not the ones who think the most, they're the ones who act the most. If you want to change your life, start acting today, and don't stop. Think about this for a moment. 100 years from now, when people look back at the early 21st century, they will read about a man who dared to dream bigger than anyone else, and more importantly, who dared to act on those dreams. Elon Musk isn't remembered because he had great ideas. Millions of people have ideas. He's remembered because he took relentless action on his ideas every single day, no matter how impossible they seemed. That's the real lesson. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room, you don't need perfect conditions, and you don't need unlimited resources. What you need is the courage to take action today, and then again tomorrow, and then again the day after that. The real challenge of life is not knowing what to do. Most of us already know. The challenge is doing it consistently. And that's where Musk's life becomes a blueprint. He didn't create Tesla by working on it once in a while when he felt like it. He built it brick by brick, task by task, often working through nights, forcing progress one step at a time. He didn't make SpaceX a success by sitting around waiting for the perfect plan. He launched, he failed, he learned, and he launched again. Action, repetition, and resilience. That's the formula. And that's a formula you can use right now. But here's the catch. Action is painful. That's why so few people do it consistently. Action requires sacrifice. It means waking up early when your body wants to sleep. It means saying no to comfort so you can say yes to progress. It means putting your energy where it matters, even when no one is watching. Elon Musk didn't get to where he is because life made it easy for him. He built his empire in the middle of chaos, in the middle of criticism, in the middle of doubt. He forced himself to act even when every part of his mind could have justified quitting. And that's the part most people miss. The pain is not a signal to stop. The pain is proof you're moving forward. So, how do you force yourself to act when you don't feel like it? You shrink the gap between decision and execution. Musk doesn't spend hours debating whether to act, he acts, then adjusts. You can do the same. Don't give your brain room to negotiate. Don't give yourself time to talk your way out of progress. Decide and then move. If you need to write, open the document and type one sentence. If you need to work out, drop down and do 10 push-ups right now. If you need to build a business, make that phone call today. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Action gets easier the closer you bring it to now. Another truth Musk embodies is obsession. He is obsessed with his vision, and that obsession fuels daily action. You don't need to copy his vision, but you do need to find something in your own life that pulls you so strongly you can't ignore it. Without a compelling why, action feels like punishment. With a strong enough why, action becomes purpose. Musk doesn't work 16-hour days because he loves exhaustion. He works them because his vision is bigger than his comfort. If you want to force yourself to act daily, you must connect every action to something larger than yourself. Find the mission that excites you, scares you, and demands the best of you. When your mission is strong enough, discipline becomes natural. But here's the ultimate shift. You have to stop measuring your life by what you intend to do and start measuring it by what you actually do. Musk is not respected because of his ideas. He is respected because of his execution. The world doesn't pay attention to intentions. The world pays attention to results. That's why action is everything. Every day you act, you're building evidence. Evidence for yourself, evidence for others, evidence that your vision is real. The more evidence you build, the harder it becomes to stop because momentum starts carrying you forward. Action creates momentum, momentum creates results, and results create a new identity. Someone who doesn't just dream, but someone who does. So here's the question I'll leave you with. How many days will you let pass before you finally force yourself to act? How many mornings will you waste scrolling before you decide to take control? How many years will you let slip by before you realize no one is coming to save you? Musk didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for a guarantee. He started and he kept going. And you can too. The clock is ticking and the future is being written right now. Every single day you hesitate, someone else is out there acting, building, and moving forward. If you want to close the gap, you must decide today, not tomorrow, not someday, to become a person of action. Elon Musk's story is proof that a single human being can bend the future with consistent, fearless action. The same power lives inside you, but it's useless unless you use it. Don't just watch his story write your own. Don't just dream about change. Force yourself to create it. One step at a time, one day at a time, with discipline, with urgency, with relentless action. That's how you build your future. That's how you change your life. And that's how you leave a legacy worth remembering.